Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the next Tier 10 American destroyer in the American Tech Tree Split line, and this is Somers. She's very similar to a ship we reviewed last time, which is Porter. However, she gets 3 quadruple torpedo tubes instead of just 2. So we have a little bit more torpedo power, but we still have the same amount of guns, and we're about the same size, honestly, too. If not, maybe a little smaller. Less superstructure, I should say, considering we have more torpedo tubes there than anything. Alright, so let's see what we have. We have 18,600 health. Not much armor, but again, you're a destroyer. You don't really need armor, and it's not going to do anything for you anyways. We have 127mm guns in 4 twin turrets. Rate of fire 13.5 rounds a minute. You can see all the stats here. Pretty decent guns as well. Torpedoes, we have the 3 quadruple torpedo mounts, which is the most torpedoes without a torpedo reload booster that any American destroyer can send out. It can do 12 torpedoes versus Gearing's 10, Fletcher's 10, Benson's 10. You get the idea. The playstyle of the ship is pretty much just a American Shimakaze, except you lose some of your torpedoes, but you gain an extra gun turret in the back, which honestly isn't a bad trade. You still have 12 torpedoes, which is a lot of torpedoes, and you have enough guns to handle any destroyer or kind of cruiser you come across. Torpedoes go up to 12 kilometers, 64 knots, 0.57 rounds a minute. Pretty bad. Worse than Selfridge. But they do go a little bit farther. Well, actually, no, they don't, do they? Yeah, so you actually have the same kind of torpedoes, at least in range and speed. The rate of fire is worse. And the damage actually stays the same. Alright, so these are actually worse torpedoes than Selfridge. That's why I like her so much. Alright, cool. Let's see here. Main battery range is 12.3 kilometers. We only get 200 more meters out of our main guns. And we go 37.5 knots, which is actually the same speed as Selfridge. So really the only benefit is having more torpedoes. Anything besides that, nothing really. AA is trash as well. You can see here it's actually probably worse than Selfridge. And our concealment is 6.2. Let's just take a look at Selfridge. Yep, we have better AA. And the surface detectability is also 6.2. So honestly, Somers might be kind of a downgrade. I mean, I'm sure there's other points where she is stronger. Like she has, what, 18,600 health. Let's see here. Selfridge has... Okay, so yeah, she gets a little bit more health. But besides that, I'm not too impressed with this destroyer. I feel like they could make it a little bit better, at least with torpedoes, like maybe 15 km torpedoes or such. Considering Gearing has 16.5 and still has pretty decent guns and AA and speed and maneuverability, there's really no reason to take this ship at all. But let's see what we have. We have a DCP, smokescreen, and a speed boost. Nothing special there. So let's toss her into a game and see what we can do. Alright, and let's see what we have for a game. 4 battleships and a bunch of destroyers, no cruisers. This actually might be one of the best games I've had with this ship so far. And my best map. Awesome. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. So I haven't really been successful with this destroyer, mainly because I've been trying to use the torpedoes more often than the guns. Torpedo angles are still trash, though it looks like there may be a little bit better rear arc, considering I think the other one was like this. But, yeah, still trash. Torpedo reload, we're already at, what is it, a minute and a half there. Gun angles are pretty good as well. I mean, with 8 guns on a destroyer, it's definitely going to hurt no matter what you come across. However, there's ships at this tier, like Daring and even Grozovoy and Gearing, that are still going to tear you apart no matter what. Even Shimakaze Though it does have less guns than the rate of fire isn't as impressive, it can still do some major damage against you. I feel like this ship is kind of underpowered right now because she has guns, but they can only really go against destroyers, which at best you'll be equal. They can't do anything against cruisers. Battleships, they're just going to laugh at you and secondary brawl you. Carriers, you don't have any AA. Torpedoes are pretty good. I mean, you have 12 of them, that's what's good about them. But they're worse than Selfridge torpedoes, at least in terms of rate of fire. They only have a range of 12 km, which isn't the worst. Grozavoy and Daring have 10 km, but still it's not much difference. Ooh, there is a Somers right there. And yeah, the only thing you really have going for you is your speed. But you kind of feel like a tier 9 tossed into a tier 10 game. Like, I really hate taking this thing against Kurfürsts or H-42s because it just... there's nothing you can really do about it. Alright, so yeah, so we have a Grozavoy here. The guns are pretty good. You can see I'm getting some pretty large chunks of damage here. There's an Akazuki as well. You have to be careful of torpedoes because the bots are not afraid to launch torpedoes at you. There's a Centurion. There's the Somers again. You can see how easy of a target you are as well. That very front part of your ship is huge. Right, still worried about torpedoes. Here's the Akazuki. Let's speed boost a bit. We are setting quite a few fires though. I'm pretty sure if you just use this ship as a HE spammer, you might have some decent use with it. Ooh, we lost one of our guns temporarily. Alright, let's see. What kind of torpedoes? Oh, we're losing lots of stuff. Okay, so we're going to send that for you. Centurion. Going to get one as well. And we're actually going to smoke up even though we have a speed boost on, because we're actually taking a lot of damage. Alright, so here's the Grozavoy. Let's see if those torpedoes do anything. I have had very little success with torpedoes and actually hitting targets. But it looks like we got some decent hits there. I'll take that. Alright, so our smoke screen is deployed. Alright, let's see if we can light some fires on some of these battleships that we just torpedoed. Did I just hit my friendly ship? I hate that. That's the problem with these long-range torpedoes, is that I never am able to just hit the enemy team. I hate it. Alright, well that one's down. I do see that the Grozavoy is up, but we're going to try and light some more fires on these battleships while we're still concealed in smoke. And we're actually doing some pretty decent damage as well. Look, 2 fires already. Alright, let's switch over to this line then. You can still at least 3,000 damage each time I hit these ships. Immediately got a fire, and it's constant damage, which does add up. You already have 2 fires on you. Let's try shooting the Monarch then. Couple hits. Need a little bit more lead. I think we're going to come out of our smoke screen here. We do have a speed boost up again. Let's go. Alright, so the Centurion put her fires out. The other 2 destroyers are at the far end of the map, but we're kind of heading in their direction if they still survive. And we just kind of have to HE spam all these ships. So I guess you're still kind of like a gearing in the way that you have your torpedoes when you need them, but they don't really reload as fast as you'd like. Ooh, there's a battleship actually right there. Not that I think I'll need the torpedoes. Yep, but there we go. But yeah, so you have torpedoes when you need them, and pretty much you just kind of use your guns to the best of your ability. I haven't really used armor piercing, but I'm trying to get fires and let the fires do the damage for me. There we go. There's 2 fires. How does Monarch look? You're not on fire. And I have another smoke screen available, so might as well just pop that. The consumables do seem to be ready whenever you need them, however. I have found that out. Alright, so we're still doing some pretty decent damage with our guns here. Let's see here. Oh, that was a big hit on her. So we don't even need torpedoes anymore. We'll just have to finish her up with guns. Alright. And now onto Centurion. You just kind of tickle them to death. And we should have her sunk in this level. There we go. And we even got another fire. Alright, now time to take on these destroyers. So I have a Fletcher and a Nakazuki? Yep, figured. Alright, so they're both pretty low, but so am I. Got a speed boost. This thing does shred destroyers very well. As you can see, that was a Fletcher, which is honestly one of the strongest destroyers in the game. And we're just able to turn it into mincemeat with a few salvos. Just like this Akazuki here. And there we go. Another ship sunk. Alright, so let's see how we did. It wasn't a terrible game, minus the part where I torpedoed my own ship, but let's see. 239,000 damage, 5 ships were sunk, 433 shell hits, 8 torpedo hits, 13 fires, 2 floodings, 1 module destroyed, and 11 defended caps. Yep, we did torpedo our Lion, unfortunately. Main guns, 121,000 damage and high explosive alone. That's a lot of damage with just main guns. Fires did 70,000 damage, or about so. And then torpedoes did 96,500 damage as well. So it's a mix of good guns that can burn everything, and torpedoes that when they hit, they do hurt, but they're not always the best torpedoes. Your AA, we didn't really have a chance to show it because there's no carrier, but you're not going to be shooting anything down, I promise you. But it's not a bad destroyer. It takes a little work and practice to get used to her. In all reality, though, I feel like the Tier 9 is the best destroyer out of this split tech tree. You're going up against Tier 9s, but you also feel like you have a better chance of dealing with them. With that, I will wrap up today's video. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe for further content. And I don't have any further videos right now planned. We have Hornet that we were able to preview for the last update, but it's not released yet, and also the British cruisers. I do have 4 of them, but I'd really like the Tier 9 and Tier 10 to be released before I do any videos on those, so I can do the entire line. So as of right now, I don't have any further follow-up video right now, but I will see you again in the future. So again, thank you, and take care.